Okay, so I ironed this down really good, and I put my sleigh in place. I do have a few pins in there because I want to keep it there until I don't need those pins anymore and I come around. I did decide to use a black thread, and when I'm doing machine applique, I do use the same color bobbin as my top thread. Otherwise you'll see these little points that pull up. I was just trying to decide which stitch I wanted to do because I want it to cover both of these spots coming over to catch the green and the red fabric, but I wanted something that would go nice around the curve and end here nicely. There's a crisscross stitch that I really like, but it's kind of a bigger crisscross. I think I'm going to use it anyway. If it doesn't work, then we'll find out together. Okay. I think I'm going to start. So I was trying to decide where to start. I want to start and stop in a place where if there's a mistake or if it doesn't look good, it's not going to look as bad. I'm going to start right here in this little divot. I'm going to stitch up and around. Is that the way I'm going to go? Yeah, up and around. In the curve, I'll catch this and come all the way around. So let's do the crisscross. When I get done, I'll show you that up close. On my Janome, I use the Memory Craft 6600. It's mode 2 and it's number 70. Okay, so I have my black thread in. I'm gonna start, whoops, I need my needle pointer that I dropped. Okay, so I'm gonna start, and pretty much we'll just do what we did. Again, I'm familiar with this stitch. That's the biggest thing, is either practice on, practice before you use it and get to know your stitches, how they run, how you have to hold your fabric, and what speed. So I'm going to start right at that corner, and I've got everything lined up, and we'll just go for it. On my curves, I'm going to go slow. Same thing, I'm using my pointer and my hand to hold that fabric flat. And as it goes, I'm just guiding it. I'm not pushing it at all. I'm just making sure that that's flat as I'm going around this corner. I don't need that. I'm going to use my left hand to really guide it and just turn it in a nice smooth manner. I'm not going to push it. I want this to stay flat in the background. I'm getting a little caught up, but I'm just going to keep going. We'll see how this comes out, okay? I'm going to keep going. I'm holding, making sure this is flat. My machine is doing even speed. And I think I'm going to like how this looks. So I'm just going to keep, I kind of want to speed up right now, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to keep this pace because it seems like it's going pretty good. I have off and on had trouble with my machine, so I'm just going to let it do its thing here. Now this is where I want to catch the red and the green fabric with this cross stitch, so that it closes that gap between where the tree sits on the sleigh. And you guys know the trick. Especially if you're using black thread and there's a gap anywhere, just go back in with a black Sharpie and fill it in. So if you can see, I'm just going nice and steady. I haven't even had to stop to take a, take a curve, except this one coming up I might have to. I'm going to pull that pin out and see how, this is a little bit more of an oval curve. I'm making sure that my sleigh is matching up to my tree there. This might get bunched up a little bit, but I don't care. I mean, I might have to take it into more of a point. I'm going to try to slow down a little bit, because I have to turn it a little bit more than I did on the other, because it's a tighter fit with this big stitch. I'm kind of watching it to see where it's gonna end. I think I'm gonna have to turn it here to keep it on track. So this might end up with a little bit of a overlap that I don't especially like, but if I don't like it, okay, I'm gonna show you what I did. This didn't catch right here. So we're gonna have to go back over that. So we call that a mistake that needs embellishment is what we call it. Okay. I'm kind of going against my own rules and trying to make this too perfect. I want it to look good, but I don't want to stress about it if it's not. I have to tell you guys, while I'm sitting here sewing, I get to look out my window and it's been snowing today. And there's one, I mean the chunkiest gray squirrel out there that keeps hopping around that's distracting me a little bit. But I can't use that as an excuse, can I? I'm going to pull that pin out. I'm going to be coming up around to this curve. And I'm trying to think about how I'm going to fix that mistake that I did. I don't want to cut this off, so I'm just going to bring it to the back really quick because I do want to go over it with the ending stitch, but I don't want to cut this off. I'm just going to tuck that in real quick. I could just pull it with the other thread from the back, but that worked just as easy. Okay, I should have ended that with my needle down, but I didn't. Had to concentrate going around that curve. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. I'm going to end up here where I think it's going to look good. Okay, you guys, help me think. Okay, I'll show you how that turned out. So that stitch turned out pretty good up here where I had to pivot it. It's a little clumped up, but I mean, it looks fine. It's a little clumped up there. You know what I'm thinking? I think I'm going to press it real quick just so it lays a little bit flatter. So let me do that. I think I could either go back over it in the black, you know, make it more of a statement there, or I can do my green and bring it all the way up and have it just be the tree. So what do you think I should do? I don't know, I almost feel like just doing it in the black. Are you guys with me? Okay, let me decide where I'm gonna line this up at, because I'm not quite sure. Then you know what happens if I don't like the way it looks, then I'm gonna have to end up putting a yo-yo or something, a clump of them as presents or something like that. Okay, let's just do it and see how it looks. This is truly how I do things, so I guess that's I don't know, maybe why I thought it would be fun if you were here with me to show you that you can do what you want and wing it. Okay, I'm cutting that off. How does that look? Actually, not too bad, huh? Okay, let me pull that thread back. Actually, that looks fine, I think. I might end up putting something there, you know, like a yo-yo or something, but I'm gonna poke that down. Okay, for right now, I'm gonna call that good. Do you see? I probably will put something there, and if you weren't here along the ride and you didn't know I did that, you'd never know. Okay, so this is what we're gonna do next. I'm gonna line up. See if I can do this so you can see me. I'm gonna line that up. It is cut in a way that you can see how it lines up. And I'm gonna trace this. I'm just gonna hold it down. It doesn't have to be perfect, so if you slip or if you wanna tape it down to get it in the right place, you can go ahead and do that. I'm just gonna hold it as I go. You can make up your own shape. I thought this would just be a nice, simple, I wanted to do something with big, scrolly, you know, sleigh. And I decided not to. I don't know, who knows, the next one I do, maybe it will have the big. Okay, there it is all traced out. And I am going to use Just in Time from the Thread Gatherer, my favorite silk floss, hand-dyed silk floss. This one is called Fading Ink. I've used this one quite a bit before. I already have a needle ready, but in their floss, let me grab this one. Might be harder to see here, but it is faded. It has some charcoal mixed in with the black, and it comes in 12 strands, and I break it up. It kind of twists really easy, naturally breaks into 3 different pieces, the way they have it twirled together, and I already have my piece off and ready to go. So with the quilting, I'm gonna start here. I'm not gonna use a hoop. And I'm just gonna do this kind of back stitch here. I'll just do a couple. So I'm on this one, this is 4 strands of silk floss. And I think it's gonna be pretty. I'm just gonna go down and stitch all the way around. Just see, I'm just doing that kind of that little back stitch. I used to call it a running stitch, but that's not. The other one that you stab, I think, is the running stitch. So that's gonna be the rudder all embroidered. So I will catch up with you in just a few minutes.